What's up, guys? Couple of things I want to cover today. Want to look at some polls, but also review the aftermath a little bit on EVW 23 because the match with Devin and Vitaly got 1.6 million views in 2 days, which is very significant. Could potentially be on track to be certainly one of the top 5 most viewed arm wrestling matches on the EVW channel. If you take a look, I think the number one is him versus Prudnik, which has like 3 point something million views. So very, very significant reach that this match got. Very, very good. Just shows that things are on track for the sport growing. However, in this podcast, they were saying, Dexter and Robert were saying they're still trying to get more pay-per-view sales. Robert said he understands the economy is not the best and not everyone can spend roughly $20 on a pay-per-view, but ideally they want to get more pay-per-view sales so that they can show to companies that they are deserving of some type of deal to move away from the pay-per-view model. They say that's more sustainable for paying the athletes and growing in general. But I want to cover this interesting question here as well as look at some polls. There was a question, have you guys thought about pairing high-level, lighter weight guys against lower-level super heavies like David versus Goliath? First thing I thought of when I read that was that clip of Manifester pulling Brian Shaw. Little side table pull. I'll put the clip right here. But I do think it is interesting concept. I think for the spectacle, although maybe that makes it more of an entertainment thing than like a legitimate weight class match where it's like a lighter guy going against a bigger guy. But I think it would be visually entertaining for sure. And he even talks about potentially Barbora going against a male opponent. So I put up a poll that's kind of funny. But let's listen to what he says here.
How to use Barbora, because there's really nobody for her unless we put her with a man.
Putting Barbora with a man, that's interesting. I remember in previous podcasts they were saying there's going to be no cross-gender stuff, no transgender stuff going on. But, I mean, there's, I guess, a cross-gender match, so I guess that would still be in line with their reasonable policy there. So he says give him a match with a man. So I did put up a poll just because it's kind of funny. Out of curiosity, let's see. I put up one. Let's scroll up here. Auden versus Barbora. Auden has the edge so far. Make sure to vote in that poll.
Maybe a lighter weight man, or maybe a bodybuilder who's also an arm wrestler, or has arm wrestling knowledge. That could be a really good match. And I mean, that's about the only way I know to use her. And that's kind of the same thing. I mean, in a more...
People haven't really mentioned much about Barbora recently, but she's basically the Levon of the female category. It's hard to even get an opponent that makes sense, so maybe this is a good idea to put her against a man that's either a lighter weight or just a beginner or something. Let me know who you think would be a good opponent in the comments. It's kind of an interesting topic.
First way, I mean, it's even bigger. I mean, having a woman against a man... but that's the only way Barbora is going to get a match.
That's the only way. I mean, there's nobody else in the women's category, I guess, who can make a statement who's close to another challenge against Barbora. She's just been so dominant. It's ridiculous. But let's look at some other polls. Somebody asked me to put up who would win in a right arm super match between Hermes and Vitaly. Vitaly is the favorite in that poll so far. Now let's go to the Auden Laird versus Duvan poll. Very close poll here. 49 to 51%. We have some comments. Let's take a look. Spectators would 100% lose. They'd have to listen to Jody screaming the entire match. If you say Auden, you should admit yourself to hospital for mental illness. Haha, 50-50. I would bet my house on Duvan. Didn't Duvan beat Porkchop? No, he lost that match. We got Henry Naring. This is the real account, not a fake account. Duvan would absolutely destroy him. No bad feelings towards Auden, but it's just true. That would be a good matchup for Auden to see where he's at, but I'm going to go with Duvan. Yeah, Duvan has been looking very impressive, and he's got a weight advantage for sure. I think, he's definitely got some muscle on his frame for sure. I think he would probably be the favorite for sure if that were to be a match. But clearly Auden has been leveling up too. I mean, he just had a very dominant win over Kevin Wolf. Very, very dominant. Now, let's look at this poll. I think I've reviewed it a little bit before, but this has got more and more votes. Probably one of the most voted on poll I put on my channel, like 21,000 votes. That's pretty impressive. 88% overwhelmingly for Hermes in this match against Morzovv. Morzov's butter wrist is done. I actually want to see current Vitaly against Hermes on the right. Yeah, that's the rematch would be interesting for sure because Hermes is higher in the rankings. Hermes' back pressure and side pressure will kill Morzovv. Hermes is on another level from gassing out Levon to fighting Morzovv. So people definitely sleeping on Morzovv big time. Although maybe his loss to Alajan would have affected that. Some people thinking he just showed up for the paycheck. Last poll we'll take a look at here. Irakli versus Yoshi. Irakli is the favorite, but I think I would lean towards Yoshi. I'm going to be honest. Some of his recent performances show that his endurance is insane. That King's move is so sticky, and I think that could be a serious problem for Irakli if Yoshi gets a stop, which I think he will. I think Yoshi may win this match, personally. Kids voting won't know what's about to hit him. Japan's GOAT. Yoshi wins. His Kings is on another level for his weight class. Yoshi, of course, that man held Todd for so long. Considering how well Yoshi did with Todd, it's hard not to put him at the favorite, especially at 105. Yoshi has a wild move. Yeah, even though he's losing the poll, personally, I would pick Yoshi in that match. So 40 days away from the next event. I don't think the pay-per-view is available for purchase yet, but you can use a link in the description I'm going to put here to save money on the tickets in person and also to buy any merchandise as well. And make sure to hit like and subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I'll be back with some more.